For a terrifying moment, everything seemed to slow down. Grayson's heart pounded in his chest as he fought to regain control of the vehicle. The headlights of oncoming traffic loomed closer, their brightness blinding him momentarily. His car swerved violently, narrowly missing a collision with another vehicle. The other driver laid on the horn, the sound blaring in his ears as he struggled to steady the car. Breathing heavily, Grayson finally managed to bring the car to a halt at the side of the road. His hands were trembling, and he could feel his pulse racing. The near accident had jolted him out of his dark reverie, the shock of it snapping him back to the present. "Get a grip, Grayson," he muttered to himself, his voice shaking. "You can't let this destroy you. You have to stay in control." He took several deep breaths, trying to calm the storm of emotions raging inside him. The anger and sorrow were still there, but now they were tempered by a sharp awareness of how close he had come to a disaster. As he sat there, the adrenaline slowly began to ebb, leaving him with a deep, aching sadness. The reality of what had been taken from him settled in his chest like a heavy weight. He didn't know how he would find a way to forgive Cassandra, or even if he could, but he knew he had to try to make sense of this new reality. Taking a deep breath, Grayson started the car again. He didn't know where he was going, but he knew he couldn't stay in one place, drowning in his pain. He had to keep moving, had to find a way to heal, even if it felt so hard. Back at Cassandra's place, Cassandra collapsed onto the couch, her body shaking with sobs. The weight of her confession and the intensity of Grayson's reaction left her feeling hollow and broken. She hugged herself tightly, her tears flowing freely, each one a testament to her regret and the deep sorrow she felt. The house seemed eerily quiet now, the echoes of their confrontation still ringing in her ears. Cassandra's mind raced with a torrent of emotions, her thoughts tangled in the chaos of the evening. She replayed the scene over and over, each word and gesture cutting deeper into her already raw nerves. "Why did I wait so long to tell him?" she muttered to herself, her voice barely above a whisper. "How could I have been so stupid?" She stood up unsteadily, her legs feeling like jelly as she made her way to the kitchen. Needing something to steady her hands, she poured herself a glass of water, but her grip was so shaky that the glass slipped, shattering on the floor. The sound of breaking glass startled her, and she let out a small, anguished cry, her hands covering her face as she sank to the floor amidst the shards. "Get a grip, Cassandra," she scolded herself, her voice breaking. "You can't fall apart now. You have to fix this somehow." After a few minutes, Cassandra forced herself to get up. She carefully picked up the pieces of glass, her movements slow and deliberate. It felt like a metaphor for her life at that moment. Shattered, broken, and in need of careful, painful reconstruction. "Every piece," she whispered, placing each shard into the trash. "Every piece is a part of the mess I've made." Once the glass was cleaned up, she leaned against the counter, trying to calm her racing heart. She took deep, steadying breaths, but the sense of dread and loss only seemed to grow stronger. She knew she had to do something, had to find a way to make amends, but she didn't know where to start. Grayson's words echoed in her mind, each one a sharp reminder of the gravity of her actions. Desperate for some sort of solace, Cassandra walked to her bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed. She reached for her phone, hesitating for a moment before dialing a number she hadn't called in a long time. "Mum," she said, her voice trembling as her mother picked up. "I need to talk. I really messed things up, and I don't know what to do." Her mother's voice was warm and concerned. "Cassandra, honey, what happened? Tell me everything." As Cassandra recounted the events of the evening, her mother listened patiently, offering words of comfort and advice. "You need to give Grayson time," her mother said gently. "He's hurt and angry, and rightfully so. But you also need to forgive yourself. You made a mistake, and it was a big one, but you can't let it destroy you. Take responsibility, but also remember that you're human." Cassandra nodded, even though her mother couldn't see her. "I just don't know how to move forward from this. I feel like I've lost everything." "You haven't lost everything," her mother replied. "You've lost something important, yes. But there's still time to mend things, to find a way forward. It won't be easy, and it will take time, but you have to try." After ending the call, Cassandra sat in the quiet of her room, her mother's words lingering in her mind. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, filled with the need for forgiveness and healing, both from Grayson and from herself. But she also knew she had to take the first step, no matter how painful it might be. Exhausted, she lay down on the bed, staring up at the ceiling as tears continued to flow. The weight of her actions pressed down on her, but beneath the pain, there was a flicker of resolve. "I have to do this right," she whispered to the empty room. "I have to find a way to show Grayson that I'm truly sorry, that I can be better, that I will be better." She turned on her side, curling up into a ball as her thoughts continued to race. "I wish I could go back," she murmured, her voice cracking with emotion. "I wish I could change everything, but I can't. All I can do is move forward and hope that one day he'll forgive me." As she drifted into a restless sleep, her mind was filled with a mix of regret and determination. She knew the path ahead would be long and arduous, but she was resolved to face it head on. She had to, for herself and for Grayson.